Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of 5 Minutes from Flinders. Today we are going to go and discover something new that is only within 5 minutes walk from Flinders Street Station. My name's Rick and thank you for joining me. Have a beer with Holly. And what we're going to do, we're going to stand out the front of Flinders Street Station and we're going to head to our left. I'm going to take you down one of Melbourne's iconic laneways for coffee and lunch and breakfast. It's home to this amazing outdoor. Hey, what are you doing? He would say to them simply, I'm mapping Australia. It is probably something you've heard of and it's called De Grave Street. And it literally is just a short 2-minute walk away from Flinders Street Station and somewhere where you can get some of the best coffee in all of Melbourne. Now, I do need to let you know that I don't drink coffee. Damn! And it's crazy, I know. Someone who lives in Melbourne, which has the best coffee in the world, doesn't drink coffee, but each to their own, I say. So, I'm gonna show you this, and then when you come, you can get yourself a coffee if you drink coffee. And look, we're halfway there already. It's taken 1 minute so far. So we're gonna cross over Flinders Street. We're gonna take our first right down to Grave Street, and let's go check it out. So De Grave Street, which is literally a 2-minute walk from Flinders Street Station, is home to this amazing outdoor alfresco eatery, which is surrounded by all these small individual boutique restaurants. But not only that, we have these boutique shops that sell intricate little trinkets as well. It's a great spot to come and pick up a souvenir, or if you're hungry, some lunch, or if you're here in the morning, some breakfast, because the coffee, I've been told, is absolutely amazing. Although it does get quite busy here, as you can tell, and it's fantastic. It really is a great way to sit here and enjoy Melbourne and watch the world go by. Situated right at the end of De Grave Street is this stunning building up behind me. It's the Mallorca building. It was built in Melbourne's post-World War II boom. This is when all these beautiful buildings started to be developed around the city. And this one truly is absolutely magical. It sits at the end of De Grave Street and you can just sit here and have a glass of wine with lunch or a coffee in the morning and really enjoy the architecture and the design of this building. It's now used as offices and shops, but it is heritage listed to Melbourne, which means it's never going to change, and it is absolutely fantastic. After you've finished your quick little stop in De Grave Street, or it doesn't have to be quick, you could have some lunch there and take some time, you're going to turn right at the end, at the Mallorca building, and you're going to head up towards Swanston Street, which is going to bring you to our next stop on our next little journey around Flinders Street, and this is St. Paul's Cathedral. Now, St. Paul's Cathedral is the main cathedral here in the city of Melbourne that you see, and everybody knows. It sits directly opposite Flinders Street Station, and it is the site of the first publicly held Christian gathering that dates back to 1836. From there, it was built as a church, and it was completed in 1892. Now, what's really interesting about the church is it was built in 2 sections. So the initial church building, which you can see, is a different coloured sandstone to the spires that were added 40 years later. Now, every night they do have a service that you can go and check out, and they have a service in the morning, they have a service at lunchtime. It's open every day of the year. I highly recommend you go check it out because inside the architecture is absolutely stunning. Some nights at 5 o'clock they do have a choir service as well, and to witness that really is magical. So it is a short little walk from De Grave Street, or if you want, you could do it first by crossing the road at Flinders Street Station, and it's right there. As you walk into St. Paul's Cathedral, you're going to come across a statue here of Matthew Flinders. Now, Matthew Flinders is an important person in Australia's history because he actually gave Australia its name and he created the map of Australia as everybody knows it today. You see, he came out here from England as an explorer and a navigator. He was stationed up in Sydney, and then what he would do is slowly go out and navigate. Now, Captain James Cook had started to map parts of Australia and the Australian coastline, but it was Matthew Flinders who went around Australia into all the little nooks and crannies and the coves and created the map of Australia as we know it. And when people asked him, hey, what are you doing? He would say to them simply, I'm mapping Australia. And that's where Australia got its name, because before that, it was known as Terra Australis. But he has a statue just outside St. Paul's Cathedral, and it's nice to pop along and say g'day. Although they probably need to clean it because he looks like his head has got a bit of poo on it from the birds that sit on top of him. But he sits out front of St. Paul's Cathedral, which is a stunning cathedral here opposite Flinders Street Station. It's our second stop on our 5 minutes from Flinders journey today, but have a look at this. Directly across the road from both Flinders Street Station and St. Paul's Cathedral is our next location, and it is called the Young and Jackson Hotel. Now, we're not going there for the pub, we're going there for a little hidden Melbourne icon that is situated inside the pub. And this, my friends, is Chloe. Chloe is a famous painting. It's probably Australia's most famous painting that, if you don't know about it, you don't really know about it. It's not really advertised anywhere, and it's kind of hidden because it's inside the pub. So let's say it's Australia's most famous painting inside of a pub that's not really known. So you're going to come into the Young and Jackson Hotel, which has an amazing history, by the way, and you're going to come upstairs to the first floor. Now, the best thing about the Young and Jackson Hotel is it's kept its historical charm. It really is a beautiful hotel. You're going to walk in to the dining room and then down the little stairs into Chloe's bar. So behind me we can see Chloe at the famous Young and Jackson Hotel. Now, a little bit of history about this Chloe painting, because she was painted back in 1875 in Paris. Now, when you look at her, you can see she's like a prepubescent teen, but don't worry, don't stress. The model was actually 19 when she was painted. The artist just wanted to create an innocence about her, so created this painting as you see it today. Now, she won gold medal at the Paris Salon in 1875, then came over to Australia and was on display in Sydney and in Melbourne in 1889, and then in 1890 here in Melbourne, and won both gold medals. Then she was loaned to the National Gallery of Victoria, where she went on display. However, she was only on display for about 3 weeks until there was a massive public outcry about the state of her. Let's say that. So then got off exhibition, and then it went back into Dr. Fitzpatrick, who was the owner of her at the time, into his possession. Then when he passed away, his estate went for sale, and the owner of this pub, the Young and Jackson, actually purchased her in 1909, and she has been on display here at the Young and Jackson Hotel since then. Now, she is a bit of a cultural icon here in Melbourne, and there are stories that some soldiers in World War I and World War II would carry pictures of Chloe in their pockets as a sign of hope and that they're going to return home to her. So I think that's a really lovely story. Now, what's really interesting about this painting is it is actually heritage listed to this building. And if you want to buy the building, you do have to buy Chloe as well. And her current valuations, $5.5 million. So put that on top of this premium corner site of the Young and Jackson pub, and you have quite an expensive price for this location. Anyway, they do have here Chloe's Ale. So when you're in Melbourne, after you've done your exploring of St. Paul's Cathedral and had some lunch at the Grave Street, you can pop in and have a beer with Chloe. So, cheers.
Look ahead, look astern, look the weather in the lee. Blow high, blow low, and so sail we.
The Young and Jackson Hotel is one of the oldest pubs here in Melbourne, and it is situated opposite St. Paul's Cathedral and opposite the magnificent Flinders Street Station. So, when you're in town, come and check out De Grey Street, come and check out St. Paul's Cathedral, and most importantly, come and check out Chloe, and even have a Chloe's Ale with Chloe. And that's it from me on this week's episode of 5 Minutes from Flinders. So I hope you've enjoyed it, hope you found something that you're going to come and discover, and we'll see you next time on 5 Minutes from Flinders.